Hello there, my name's Martin Henley. This is the Effective Marketing YouTube channel. And if you've spent a second here, you will know that I'm on a mission to bring you everything you need to be successful in your business. Now, as far as I know, what you need if you're going to be successful in your business is to be really good at sales and marketing. So not only am I here giving you everything I know about sales and marketing, I'm also dragging in anyone I can find as part of the Talk Marketing experience to extract what knowledge they have of sales and marketing. And I'm also reacting to the best and the worst of content on the internet. And that's what today is about. Today is reaction time. I think we're up to number 6. And what I was looking for is something really positive. The last time we reacted with the amazing Andy Gwynn, and we were talking about the appalling customer service provided by Hootsuite. So I wanted to come back now with something much more positive. And what I've come up with is this. It is the famous, what it's called is the best marketing strategy ever, Steve Jobs' Think Different Crazy One speech. Now, I've not actually checked to see if this is the Crazy One speech, but I think it might be. And I'm going to apologize in advance because I think the audio isn't great on this. But what I wanted to show you is something, something hopefully really positive. So let's give it a go and see what we think.
To me, marketing's about values. This is
for me too.
a very complicated world. It's a very noisy world. And we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. No company is. And so we have to be...
All right, how true is that? I don't even know when this was recorded. I should be able to make out, there's not even a date on the video. You can see it's had 5.7 million views. There's not a date on the video. Why is that? Is it because I've zoomed in? Show more. When Steve Jobs came back to Apple 1996. So I think that's when we are looking at, is around 1990.
Really clear on what we want them to know about us. Now, Apple...
All right, so I'm sorry if I'm screwing this up. So basically what he's saying is that this is a very complicated world. People are not going to remember much about our brands and our businesses. So what we need to be very careful of is making sure what it is that we want to know about our brand, what it is that they will remember about our brand. So let's go.
Is one of the half a dozen best brands in the whole world. Right up there with Nike, Disney, Coke, Sony. It is one of the greats of the greats, not just in this country, but all around the globe. And but even a great brand needs investment and caring if it's going to retain its relevance and vitality. And the Apple brand has clearly suffered from neglect in this area in the last few years. And we need to bring it back. The way to do that is not to talk about speeds and feeds. It's not to talk about MIPS and megahertz. It's not to talk about why we're better than Windows. The dairy industry tried for 20 years to convince you that milk was good for you. It's a lie, but they tried anyway. And the sales were going like this. And then they tried Got Milk, and the sales are going like this. Got Milk doesn't even talk about the product. Matter of fact, it focuses on the absence of the product. But the best example of all, and one of the greatest jobs of marketing the universe has ever seen is Nike. Remember, Nike sells a commodity. They sell shoes. And yet, when you think of Nike, you feel something different than a shoe company. In their ads, as you know, they don't ever talk about the product. They don't ever tell you about their air soles and why they're better than Reebok's air soles. What does Nike do in their advertising? They honor great athletes and they honor great athletics. That's who they are. That's what they are about. Apple spends a fortune on advertising. You'd never know it. You'd never know it. So when I got here, Apple just fired their agency. We were doing a competition with 23 agencies that, 4 years from now would pick one. And we blew that up, and we hired Chiat Day, the ad agency that I was fortunate enough to work with years ago. We created some award-winning work, including the commercial voted the best ad ever made in 1984 by advertising professionals. And we started working about 8 weeks ago. And the question we asked was, our customers want to know who is Apple and what is it that we stand for.
Right, so here we are. So what he's talking about is he's come back in. I don't really know. I need to watch this Steve Jobs story because I don't really know what the story is. But the story is he got thrown out. I don't know when he got thrown out. I don't know when he came back in, but he was out for a period of time. But one thing I want to say is that, like, at the core, for me, of a brand is a product. And Steve Jobs era Apple made the most amazing products. Like, I converted to, a long time after this, I converted to Apple, I think around 2008, and it changed my life. It was astounding. The thing just worked. And literally the day I bought the Apple computer was the first time in my life that I'd actually stood up in front of a group of people with a presentation that was finished. I literally got it. I imported my presentation, and that took minutes. And then I'm like, okay, I'd like to tidy up this kind of formatting. That took minutes. And then it's like, okay, well, I'd like to put in some animation type stuff. That took minutes. So literally that evening when I stood up to present, it was the first time I had a presentation that was actually finished. So that's how good Apple products were. PowerPoint for me never worked. Like, you were always spending too much time. I don't know what it's like now. I haven't seen it for 14 years. But you were always spending too much time fiddling around with things, trying to get the formatting right, trying to get the animations right, whatever it was. It never quite worked for me. And I was then a complete fanboy because this had changed my life. So I bought everything they made, the iPhones, the tablets, the whatever. I was on their rumor sites. I was a huge, huge fan of Apple. So this was a long time before that, when Apple had gone through a bad period. But what he's saying now is that he bought on an agency 8 weeks prior to this. So this is interesting to me because what I know is that marketing needs an investment of time and energy and money, and typically it's time. But you can imagine turning around a juggernaut like Apple in 8 weeks. Like he's just said, they were in the top 5 brands at the time, along with Coke and Pepsi and whoever it was he mentioned. So 8 weeks, that's phenomenal. That's ridiculous. Okay.
We fit in this world. And what we're about isn't making boxes for people to get their jobs done, although we do that well. We do that better than almost anybody in some cases.
So scratch everything I said. He's not making boxes to help me to do my job well.
But Apple's about something more than that. Apple, at the core, its core value is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better. That's what we believe. And we've had the opportunity to work with people like that. We've had an opportunity to work with people like you, with software developers, with customers who have done it in some big and some small ways. And we believe that in this world, people can change it for the better. And that those people that are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do. And so what we're going to do in our first brand marketing campaign in several years is to get back to that core value. A lot of things have changed. The market's a totally different place than it was a decade ago. And Apple's totally different, and Apple's place in it is totally different. And believe me, the products and the distribution strategy and the manufacturing are totally different, and we understand that. But values and core values, those things shouldn't change. The things that Apple believed in at its core are the same things that Apple really stands for today. And so we wanted to find a way to communicate this. And what we have is something that I'm very moved by. It honors those people who have changed the world. Some of them are living, some of them are not. But the ones that aren't, as you'll see, you know that if they ever used a computer, it would have been a Mac. And the theme of the campaign is Think Different. It's the people, honoring the people who think different and who move this world forward. And it is what we are about. It touches the soul of this company. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it, and I hope that you feel the same way about it I do.
Yes.
Oh, no. That went wrong.
Things shouldn't change. The things I'm very moved by aren't. As you'll see, you know that if they ever used a computer, it would have.
Okay, so this is funny. And this is brilliant. So the thing is, it's true. Like, it's ascribed, I think, to Maya Angelou. People will forget what you say. People might forget what you did, but people will never forget the way you make them feel. And this ad, I think, is astounding. And he's right about the principle. The principle is that at the very foundation, you have to have a mission. Like my mission, I don't know how true to it I am. Maybe I could be truer to it. But I seriously want to empower small businesses to be more successful. I really want to do that. And I really think that people's lives are shaped by their careers, but particularly people's lives are shaped by their business. If you have the guts to stand up and run your own business, you really deserve all the support you can get. And that's kind of why we are here. So really, you forget, and this is why I make these videos, is because like you forget this is a really astounding thing that Steve Jobs was doing. And I don't think since Steve Jobs has passed that Apple are the same company. I don't think they are on the same mission. I certainly don't get a sense of that. They're just regurgitating products over and over and over again, and they're getting, it seems to me, slightly worse with each iteration. So I don't know. This is kind of inspiring, I think.
And the theme of the campaign is Think Different. It's the people, honoring the people who think different and who move this world forward. And it is what we are about. It touches the soul of this company. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it, and I hope that you feel the same way about it I do.
Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers. The round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Yeah, it gives you kind of tingles, doesn't it? It really does. And the thing is, I needed to be reminded of this now. You know, I really did. Like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to change the world necessarily. I wanted to change the world for a long time, but I want to change things for people. I want people to be much happier and much more successful. And thankfully, I'm in a situation where I can do that through this channel, through when I teach. And, you know, people often tell me that they're inspired and they're motivated and they have better careers. And that's kind of what I do this for. So, yeah, it's interesting. Like, marketing is, you know, really digging deep into the why do you do it. And I think here in 2022, we're not doing enough of that. You know, Apple were an amazing company. I think the world has changed since 1996. You know, it was 26 years ago, and I think people were really inspired by these huge corporations. And I don't know if that's still the case. I don't feel that anymore. You know, I am much more excited about small businesses, about maybe entrepreneurs. You know, everything that is achieved in societies, everything that's achieved in um, economies is achieved by small businesses. You know, and it just feels to me a little bit like the corporations have had it too much, too far their own way. They take too much, they don't give enough, which is why I'm here on a mission for small businesses to give you everything I possibly can to support you to be successful. And hopefully, this little bit of inspiration today from the late, great Steve Jobs will serve that purpose. Of course, if you could like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, then that will help to get our message to more people. But today, I just really hope that you found some inspiration. How can you not? You know, go back to your core. Why is it that you do what you want to do? Because that's the message that you need to land on your prospective customers. That's the message that you need to land on your customers to let them know that you are in this with a, what's the word? An inspiring cause. Okay, thank you for being here.